Back in those days, everybody knew how to work.
Double or Nothing 2019. There wasn't a dry eye in the entire building.
Very special, very emotional, very heart-driven.
Do you feel like you have to be a pro wrestler when you're a kid?
That's what I wanted. My dad did not.
Undertaker says you should be in the Hall of Fame.
It was nice of him.
Why is wrestling having this resurgence?
You know how it goes in cycles, and I think we're on an up cycle right now.
Cody's really leading the charge here.
He's doing a great job. I'm so proud of him.
Did you ever think that he'd leave AEW?
I didn't. He made a very smart decision. Look at him now.
The Rock referenced you in a promo recently.
But f*** The Rock. You can't beat up my brother and me not say nothing.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for making the time to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you're doing the best work of your career these last few years.
I agree.
What's changed? What's different?
Maybe just the gym. Maybe just being more in shape than I've probably ever been because I am getting old. You know,
you look lean and mean. You're looking great.
Probably the lowest I've been since 23 years old, somewhere around there.
Really?
So,
what do you weigh these days?
230.
You look
228. Great. I kind of go from 225 to 230. So any heavier, and I can tell.
I had never cried before watching a wrestling match, and Double or Nothing 2019.
Yeah.
My goodness, there wasn't a dry eye in the entire building, but
it wasn't.
You got me.
Yeah.
What did that match mean to you?
Meant a lot. I really, at the beginning of it, before it happened, I wasn't sure what new crowd, AEW, been at WWE for so long. Are they going to respond like I want them to respond? Are they going to boo me out of the building? What's going to happen? Nervous, of course. You know, you're working with your brother. You want to have a good one. And the music hits and they responded in kind and get out there. And it's just... I've explained it before, and it's very special, very emotional, very heart-driven. You stand there, and I just look at Cody across the ring, and I point up to the sky, right? And they just started the Dusty chants, just like crazy loud, and it was just like electric, and it was so focused. And I tell the fans this. You know, I can see the fans, but I can't really see them, right? I can hear them, but I can't hear them because we were so focused on each other and what needed to be done at that time to really shotgun this company, AEW, just into existence. And it was amazing. I mean, we could have missed a bunch of stuff and it wouldn't have mattered. The story was there, you know, 2 promos set it up, brother versus brother. It worked, you know, and we were told years ago it just wasn't good enough to be on like the big card, right? The big show. And they were wrong. And we just went out there and absolutely slaughtered it. It was incredible. The stars aligned. It was perfect. I mean, couldn't have been more perfect.
There was a moment at the end when you were like, you were thinking of retiring. Were you actually going to hang it up?
I was, actually. So that I didn't have any idea about what Cody was doing. I thought he was, okay, he's leaving the ring. This is my time right now just to go, okay, I've had a great career. And, you know, he surprised me with his throwback with the dad, you know, the promo, I need my older brother. And it was very emotional. That's when people started squalling and it wasn't a dry eye in the place. And it was just... both of us, we were crying, holding each other, you know, hugging. It was just very strong. It was a strong feeling. So it was really good.
You feel when you're growing up, the son of a legend, that, you know, wrestling's in your blood. Do you feel like you have to be a pro wrestler when you're a kid?
I wanted to be. You know, I mean, you could say out of my mother's womb, I wanted to be a pro wrestler, right? So it was like, you watch for years and years and years, and you're such a fan of Dad. But, you know, growing up, I watched a lot of world-class championship wrestling, right? Because I had a little big black and white TV, small, right? That's the kind they had back then, those little black and whites. That's how old I am, guys. I'm a dinosaur, for fuck's sake.
But
Jesus
you look
Christ.
great.
But watch it every time I could. You know, whenever Dad would come into town or I would visit him in Florida or whatever, it always took us to the matches. It was great. That's what I wanted. My dad did not. He wanted me to, sports and football and college and things like that. And I was very good at football, had scholarship offers. It's just my grades weren't there. I wasn't in the right mindset to go play football. I wanted to do what he did. And that's all I wanted to do, And looking at it in hindsight, I have no regrets for not going to college. I've had a hell of a career. I've made millions and millions of dollars. It's incredible. I mean, taking care of my family and doing what I love, not working a day in your life. And it's been great, but it was tough at the beginning. As he sent me to Florida under Steve Kern and Mike Graham to learn and start my career there for a couple of years or a year and a half, making $20 a night. But that was the funnest time I've ever had in the 36 years in the business.
Yeah.
Just passionate and hungry and just wanting to be like a sponge and soak everything in. And I did. I've had some great teachers because back in those days, back in the 80s and 90s, everybody knew how to work, right? And then the young guy would come in and you shut up and listen. And that was me. And you step in the ring with Ricky Steamboat, Barry Windham, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, Larry Zbyszko. Those were my teachers. So I just listened to them and they guided me to the great things that we did, right? And it was very special. So it took years before I started talking.
Being around the business, growing up in the business, do you remember what your earliest memory was, like in an arena around wrestling?
I was, I think 7 or 8 years old. My dad came into town and he wrestled downtown Austin at the auditorium or the Coliseum or whatever it was. And I remember going to the show, me and my sister, Kristen, and watching the matches. Hell of a time, a lot of fun. And afterwards, the arena cleared out and we're just waiting on Dad to take a shower and all that so we can go get something to eat and go back to the house, whatever. And I saw the ring and I walked up to the ring and I started climbing in the ring at a very early age. And my dad had just come out of the shower and he was dressed and he came out of there and he cussed me a good one. Don't you ever be in that ring. That's like started very early. He did not want that for me. And I understand why he didn't want that for me. It's very hard on families. It's very hard on wives. It's brothers, sisters, whatever, you're gone so much. And so it's very hard on them, right? You have to have a good wife that really understands that you're going to be gone a lot and that you're sacrificing a lot just to be on the road and trying to live your dreams. And luckily, my third wife, Terrell, she's been the greatest thing in my life. And she understands it because she was in the Renaissance Fair for years and years and she traveled all over the country. So she knows. And it was, it's just, it's a blessing that I found her and, she understands completely. When I'm on the road, I'm on the road. She didn't try to bother me, but so many wives, so many people in the past, they get jealous and they're like insecure and things like that. And it's a tough business for families.
What do you think was the vision that you had for Dustin Rhodes as a wrestler when you first got into the business? Because you've played so many different characters. You've been so many different people. What was the vision you had when you first entered the
business? Just 80s cowboy. That's kind of, I just looked at my dad. He was always just a cowboy, big Dust, always a cowboy, always a hat on, the boots and stuff like that. And it's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be just like him, but that's impossible. And, it took me years to figure that out and finally realized that, I can't fill my dad's shoes. I can't, not even close. So I had to, that's when the Goldust thing came along and, it opened my eyes to, hey, maybe I need to fill my own shoes. And I did. And it was something completely different than what I am.
Was Goldust like, because it was so far removed from what you were doing before, was that just a chance to be like, look, I'm not my father's son anymore. I'm doing my own thing here.
Yeah. In a sense, yes. Yeah.
And the original pitch from Vince, you've told this many times, but androgynous. He just kept saying androgynous.
Yes. And at the end of the yeah, sure, Vince. Yeah, great. I love it. And I'm just thinking, what's androgynous? What the hell's androgynous? Hang up the phone.
Did you have any idea what that might have meant?
It sounded like something that's not good. Right. So I went to the dictionary, looked it up, and I'm just like, my jaw dropped. And I was like, what did I just sign up for and agree to do? And, I thought about it for a while, and I was like, you know what? This may be a chance to do something good. I wasn't looking at it as, is Vince trying to rib me or any of those things? I'm just trying to just make my way, make my name in the business, and try to just grow my legacy as much as I possibly could. And it worked out. But I had to put 110% in it. And there was a lot of tough things that we did that I was scared to do, didn't want to touch on these issues that were very important to people later on down the road. They're all, they'll DM me or something saying, you really helped me come out or whatever it is. So, you hear that a bunch of times from fans. It's like, wow, I really had an impact back then. But that was tough for me to step out of that comfort zone. But when you do that, and I've learned to realize when you step out of your comfort zone in your little circle, right? And everything's very comfortable in your little circle, but you step outside of that and you're trying something brand new that might frighten you. That's where the magic happens.
We'll get back to it in just a second, but this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. This is the time of year when a lot of people start focusing on trying to be better for the year that's ahead. So for me personally, I started doing therapy with BetterHelp last year, and it has made such a huge change in my life. And look, I know that therapy is not something that a lot of people like to talk about, but if you've ever thought about it, I encourage you to give BetterHelp a try. It's done entirely online, which is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can also switch therapists at any time at no additional charge. First of all, celebrate the progress that you've already made in your own life. And if you've ever thought about giving therapy a try, go to betterhelp.com/insight and you'll get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/insight.
I can't imagine Vince thought this would be a character that would last 20 plus years.
It's amazing. It really is. It's just my work ethic, man. I always put 110% into anything I've ever done. And it was a pretty cool experience.
Where did it start with Goldust? Where did you start to, was it the bodysuit? Was it the makeup? When did you start to feel like Goldust?
Probably in the garden. With Savio Vega, and I ran into him today, and I was like, holy shit, and I hugged him, just amazing. But Savio wanted me to, he's the one that pushed me to step outside of the circle, to try something, and I kept telling him no, and it happened in the garden, and I remember doing it for the first time, just some weird sick shit, right? And rolled out of the ring because he chased me, and I was just like, and they responded in like a way that I had not had happen yet in the 6-7 months that I'd been there. And I'd been trying new things and trying to throw all kind of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And just, that was the thing that stuck. And they came unglued, and they screamed every kind of profanity, all of it, towards me. And it was scary because I'm sitting there next to the rail with a predominantly, Puerto Rican area in New York City. It's like, and Savio Vega's Puerto Rican. And I'm just like, what the fuck did I just do? And I look at Savio in the ring, and he's laughing. And I'm like, damn, man, he's going to try to get me killed. But from that point on, it was like Goldust was truly born.
Is this like you walked right up to that line of like sexuality?
And I didn't want to cross it. But when I did, that's when this stuff happened.
And it was like...
And Vince gave me the reins for this character. He let me find myself. I mean, he was hands-on in my voice a lot, trying to bring out a creepy, sexual Goldust voice, right? And he worked with me hands-on. We did a bunch. And I finally got it, and you have your few little catchphrases that stick or whatever, and your body mannerisms, and that was it. We ran with it, and it was incredible. He gave me... I remember he took it away from me at a time too, later on. And I was like, why, man? I couldn't understand why, but I was still very young.
How did you find that voice?
I don't know. I have no clue. It's just it's a softer, deeper, slower, just the sexual comes out. You know, it's just like, where the fuck did that come from? Jesus Christ, how am I doing this? I'm too good at this. What the fuck?
Was there a part of you that was like, I'm so good. Look how good my dad was. Look how good I am. Why are you giving me this character?
I've never thought that about myself, and I still don't. And that's something I need to work on. I'm a work in progress in that, you know, having the, just where I look at myself and, you know, I've been pretty good. Is that I'm a humble guy, but full of humility, man. And I'm just appreciative of the opportunities and things, and I ran with it, did good, but you know, I'm working on trying to just say, hey, you know, Dustin, you are damn good. You're Dustin fucking Rhodes. You Goldust. You put on one of the greatest characters ever, and I have, and I did, and I'm proud of that. So,
yeah, you
should just be not an asshole. I'm too nice sometimes.
Undertaker says you should be in the Hall of Fame. When you're done.
I watched that. I watched that episode with him and Rogan. Right?
Yeah,
it was Rogan.
Yeah, what'd you think when you heard that?
It was nice of him. I loved working Mark, man. He was great. Always great. Just, you know, you got two people that can work. It makes things a lot easier. And back then, everybody could work. So you had good matches, good storylines. And it was just different. The Attitude Era was a different beast, man, than anything we've ever had. And it was the Ruthless Aggression Era and all the other eras that we have gone through, and look at where we're at now and just how much the business has changed over the years, right? And I'm an old school guy, and I say this to my students all the time, without the old school, there is none of this new school, right? You have to learn this shit right here. And then you add your little spices and your little 2024 attitude with it and a couple new move sets. People want to be told a story, period. And I swear to God, it still works. And it's just, you know, that's me. I'm a storyteller. I'm big on psychology. I'm big on making people feel something, because that is the most important thing. If they're feeling something at home, sitting in their recliner, and I touch their lives or move them in some way, they're coming back. They're not turning the channel. And there's a lot of people that don't. And there are a lot of people just going through the motions and doing moves and moves with no rhyme, no meaning, and, you know, nothing against them, but that's just not me. I mean, there's different styles, and mine it's old school.
You've said a few times now that everybody back then could work. Can not everyone now work?
No, there's very few of us. Few of us, like we are few.
And what's the difference? What's the difference between working the style that you work and working how some people work now?
So back then, you're listening constantly. You have to improvise. You know, you don't have these planned out things. You're just calling it on the fly, right? And that's how to do that. That's how you learn. And these days, and nothing against the days, because I do it now too. You know, it's like you put your match together in the back and stuff like that, and everybody knows, okay, this is my spot. But some towns are different. Like you go to New York City and they might not like that, but then you go down south and of course they're going to love it. So you got to be able to switch it up and know when to switch it up when it happens, because fans today will let you know just how much it sucks.
What's happening in this era right now? Like why is wrestling having this resurgence? Why is it cool again?
It is like a renaissance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is cool, man. You know how it goes in cycles. And I think we're on an up cycle right now, and it's a credible business for everybody. Everybody's kicking ass. The indies are strong. AEW is strong. WWE is strong. You know, you look at TNA coming back. It's incredible to watch, right? People love to be entertained. They want to be taken out of their day for 2 or 3 hours, however long the show is. And whatever they're going through, good, bad, whatever, they get away. They want to watch this, and that's our job to take them out of that and entertain them.
I feel like Cody's really leading the charge here.
He's doing a great job. I'm so proud of him.
Did you ever think that he'd leave AEW?
I didn't, actually. I didn't. But I know some stuff that went on, and, you know, and I think it was just his time, and he made a smart decision. He made a very smart decision. Look at him now. You know, he is the man here. So it's a incredible ride, incredible journey from him leaving the first time in WWE and saying he's betting on himself and just taking the ball and fucking running with it. And he created something really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. What do you see in your brother now that maybe he didn't have the first time around in WWE?
More wisdom, more business sense. He's gotten very smart for his age in a short period of time, and he studies. He's a studier of the business. He's a studier of politics. He's a studier of all kinds of things, you know. And he studies his vocabulary. He uses such big words, and that's just not me, right? I'm like, damn, what does that mean? I'm thinking, then I'll look it up. Oh, that's a good word, but I won't ever fucking remember it, you know. That's what's kind of sets us different. He wears the suits all the time. I can't. It's too hot. You know what I mean? Just comfort for me. But he's everything. When you look at a true superstar or mega star, he is fitting that bill right now. And he is doing an amazing job of carrying the company along with, you know, the great talent that are there. Yeah. But right now, he can do no wrong. They're pushing him to the moon, and it doesn't happen that much to people. Right. So it's really good to see that a Rhodes is really getting their said due in the business with WWE.
When you were teaming with him, you know, a decade-ish ago,
fun.
Did you see that in him at that point in time?
Maybe a little bit, but not anything like he is today. I think he just became, his IQ just jumped off the charts in the last 10 years, in the last 5 years. He's such an intelligent young man. And we're 16 years difference. And I'm like, God dang, he's really doing good. And I watch him on everything he does. And it's just amazing how he handles things. And that's what it takes. And he loves it. And he keeps doing it. And that's what it's going to take when you're going to carry the ball for the whole company.
The Rock referenced you in a promo recently.
Yeah, he did.
What did you think when you heard that?
I thought that was pretty cool. But fuck The Rock.
It's not the first time you said that.
That's right.
Yeah. What do you mean when you say fuck The Rock?
I say fuck The Rock. You can't beat up my brother and me not say nothing. You know what I mean?
I feel like, you and The Rock have some history there.
A little bit. He had his first match with me. His first singles match. He's a megastar.
Yeah.
It's good for the business. He's come in. He's on the board. I mean, my God, man, we're in good hands.
It's a great time for wrestling right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
So when you say teaming with Cody was fun, how did you find out that was going to happen?
That kind of came together pretty quickly because Cody had left. I couldn't win Cody's job back. So, you know, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and they sent me home. And then that opportunity came with a Shield. And it was like, if we win, we get our jobs back and all that kind of thing. And it was really, really cool that Dad got to be involved in that. And it just happened overnight, you know. And they used all those interviews over the months and put them all together in that nice package that they always put together, right? And it worked, and it was hot. God dang, that was so hot because nobody had beaten the Shield. And we came in, and it was such a freaking good match too, man. And we beat them. That place that's kind of when stars are born, you know, that type of moment was so loud, so crazy. And just glad to be a part of it. Very blessed.
You talk about putting 110% into Goldust. And I feel like Cody put 110% into Stardust. And it didn't work for whatever reason.
Well, he had a lot of fans out there. A lot of people did like Stardust. And he did go into that character crazy because we did so many backstage segments together. And just his voice and the way he was saying these words about space and quantum physics and all that crap, it he did his homework on it and he tried to bring that thing to life, and he did. And it was, I know a lot of people, I know he doesn't like it, and a lot of people may or may not like it, but it was really cool to see him kind of step into a character and pull something off, that's completely different from what he is.
Yeah.
Right? It's just acting, it's character acting is all it is. It's improvising. And improvising is very hard for actors in Hollywood, right? Because they're strictly to the script, and it's just like, I've got to read these lines, and now I've got to find my emotion in them, and there's certain moments or whatever, and it's hard. It's like we've been in acting school our whole careers.
Could you tell that he was like it was wearing on him, that he wasn't enjoying it?
No, not towards the end a little bit. But he never said, he was not having a good time with it.
It was obvious you were always having a good time with Goldust.
Not so much sometimes.
It always looked like it on camera.
Well, that's me. If the red light's on, I'm not gonna call it in or put out a bad performance just because I don't want to be there, or I feel pissed off because I'm having to do a certain something. Right? It's not good for business. You got to keep your business separated from you feeling like a piece of shit or whatever right before that. You got to go out and entertain. That's your job. And, it took me a long time to realize that.
How did you come to realize that? Like that you're in such
age,
a great position?
When I got a little bit older, I guess, and it hit me, and it just hits you overnight. It's like, you know what, man? You're getting paid. Just have fun. And that's what I tell the kids, if you're not having fun, you need to go. You need to go.
You had so much fun with Booker T.
Yes, that was a blast.
I had him on recently. He's like, I love that time with Goldie.
It was a good time. Good. I wish it wouldn't have got cut so short, but God, so many backstage segments, offshoot segments. Jesus Christ.
Booker was like, what's so great about it is all we'd have to do were backstage segments.
And it was good.
And it was so much fun.
Right.
Because we were just doing these few segments. Whose idea was it to take two seemingly polar opposite characters?
Completely polar opposites. I think that was Brian Goertz, maybe. But we were going to do the Scorpion King. That was the first one, Rock's first movie, right? And it went over well, and they loved it. So they started one next week. I think it was a one-time deal, but it worked.
Is this the shampoo commercial, that thing?
No, this is us, Booker T and Goldie at the movies with watching the Scorpion King. That was the first one.
Yes.
And it worked for them, and they wanted to do it again. And then it just became a weekly thing, and, offshoot in some hotel with Booker T and his girlfriend and me crawling in the bed with them, stuff like that. 7-Eleven, they shut down a 7-Eleven. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? This is the greatest shit ever, and I'm not wrestling. It was awesome.
It was magic every single time.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good times.
Was there anything during that time that you didn't enjoy doing? And did you feel like you could say no, like that's not a storyline I would want to do?
I mean, there's probably a couple storylines that I really didn't want to be in, but, back then I was just, let's go. Let's do the thing, get it over with, whatever. Looking back at it, if I were to change anything, which I have no regrets because those are my teachers, and they taught me a lot of lessons, I would have probably changed the way that I approached certain things diplomatically. Instead of losing my temper or losing my shit, I don't want to do this or whatever. Those are probably the only thing. But you grow up and you see possibly how you were back then, and it's like, man, I was rough around the edges here. I needed to, and this is all I knew. And it was like, but you kind of get a little wiser as you get older, and it's like not worth it. And you're thinking about it. Why did I do that? Why didn't I just say no? Or, changed it to make it a little different. Yeah, there's all kinds of shit that I've done that was not very good, but, whatever.
The promo that you cut is Se7en. How much of that was just you being angry in that moment?
It was a shoot. It was a shoot, but, the company wanted to kill it because of the, what are they called? because of the kid with the black eyes, it was a little creepy for a man to be with a little kid, right? And demonic eyes and stuff like that. I forget standards and practices, right? And it was like, and they wanted to kill it. And Vince Russo came to me and said, "Hey, we need to kill this." And this is the first. This is the debut, right? Yeah. We did all these videos, and I got hot. He said, "I want you to cut a promo, and I don't know what it's going to be about, but you just go out there and tell me what you think." So I went out there and we did the entrance. It was a pretty cool entrance. It cost like $25,000 every time you were going to do it, though. And it was a very cool entrance, and that was my vision. All those things, those vignettes, everything that came from me. And we shot them just like I wanted, and it was very cool. And then to cut that promo, and I didn't really know what I was going to say, and I thought about it during the daytime, and it was, sometimes when I overthink things, I need to walk away, and then it just comes. And it's gotten so easy as you get older, to talk in front of a live audience or even in a room full of people. Back then, it was tough for me in promos, like, well, not Se7en, but like early on, it was like, I didn't know what I was doing. And I just got that promo, and the stuff I said was pretty spot on in a shoot.
When you went to the back?
Everybody loved it.
When you went to the back, did they say...
It was good?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they were like, man, that was a great fucking promo.
And then,
great promo. They just thought that was a work part of it.
Yeah. But then it's like, now the character's dead. Then where do you go from there?
That's when we became the American Nightmare.
People forget that.
I know.
People forget that you were the original American Nightmare.
Yeah. And that had a small run, and then, WCW got bought out.
And when did the conversation happen much later with Cody going, I want to be the American Nightmare?
Well, that was like probably 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
And is it like, look, I know that you were the American Nightmare.
Yeah. I just had to sign a paper. It's great.
And
I didn't care. Yeah, go, baby. Do it.
Yeah.
Right. And he took it and ran with it, man. It's got over like crazy.
Have you seen this video online? It's one of your old entrances.
Yes.
But it's Cody's new music.
Yes. It's pretty cool. They got one of Dad, too.
Oh, yeah?
Doing Dusty's entrance.
With Cody's music?
Cody with Dad's music.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
They always do that crazy stuff.
I remember asking Cody years ago, what's the one piece of advice from Dusty that just sticks with you all the time? And he told me, maximize your minutes. Even if you've only got 2 minutes for a match or 30 seconds for a promo, maximize your minutes. What is it for you? What's the thing that rattles around from Dusty for you?
He would always tell me, and I say it to my students still, and it's crazy. And he'll pull me aside, and maybe I'm having a hard time early on with promos and stuff. And he said, Dustin, it's not about how you're saying something or what you're saying or how you're wrestling in the ring and what moves you're doing. It's about how you make somebody feel. If you can make somebody feel, they're going to come back. So I just remembered that. And it was like, that's the one big piece of advice that he gave me that I've held on to.
I think one of the great things about Goldust was your entrance.
Yeah, great entrance.
Who was behind the entrance and making it 24 frames and widescreen?
I'm probably Kevin Dunn came up with all the 24 karat Shattered Dreams productions.
But it was
pretty cool.
It looks like film when you come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Toni Storm a little bit now with her black and white, right? We talk about it all the time. We want to tag. I think it would be really cool. Just mix tag once or twice.
That'd be,
because she's doing amazing with that character, and it's just like,
you want to talk about someone going all in on a character.
Yes.
She's all in on her character.
She is.
Danhausen's all in on his character.
It's crazy, man. I mean, there's not many characters kind of left.
That's true.
True characters.
Yeah.
Like Abaddon, let's say, right? Or
Danhausen,
or Goldust, or those kind of characters, right? So
yeah.
I think they had a good run. Will they come back? Do you think they could come back?
Do you think you could go back to a character like that? I mean, you've got a great thing going right now.
Yeah.
But you were also...
I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? And it's been really good to me. Tony really respects and treats me like a legend. And that means a lot to me. So there's a loyalty there that I feel I have because he's affording me to take care of my family and stuff, you know. So, but I love my character now, and I do it with the half paint, just kind of a tribute to Goldust, but also Dustin Rhodes. So that's why it's kind of half and half. And I like it. I don't, you know, I'm 55. I mean, what the hell else am I going to do right now?
I mean, you look great.
mean? Jesus. It's just like, fuck. I'm having a great time. I'm still passionate. It's still fun. When it stops being fun, that's when I'll say goodbye.
What's the story when it's blue paint or red paint?
I was just changing it up for action figures. I'm going to go to a different color, maybe green, like emerald green or something, and you got a brand new action figure.
Yeah.
You're always marketing. You got to market yourself, right? You got to think, okay, Goldust had so many action figures, man, and it was like, okay, how can I do this? And I'm still fighting with them right now. I need a new action figure. I've done all these new paint jobs and stuff like that. What the fuck? Come on.
So this is still fun?
Yeah.
You think about when you'll have your last match?
No. I did last year a little bit. But then, you know, it's just like, no, I'm not. It's one of those I need to sit down and think about this type conversations with myself and weigh the cons and the pros and not yet. Not yet. I would say 2 to 3 years, maybe.
When Cody left, did you think about also leaving?
No. I'm happy there. I'm very happy at AEW, and it's a good place for me. You know, we're growing. We're doing some wonderful things. Business is up. Everything is great. It's a different style over there as it is WWE. You know, we have some of the greatest professional wrestlers on the planet in that company, man, and it is special to watch them, even to have a chance to step in the ring with them. You know, I mean, my God, there's some good talent there. They do some amazing stuff, just incredible stuff, like different category stuff. Like Will Ospreay is they have to build a new category for him.
Yeah.
Because he is insane and he's so young. It's amazing how just the incredible things that he does. It's nuts.
You've been there since the start.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're coming up on the 5-year anniversary of the first in-ring. It's Double or Nothing 2019.
Yeah.
Where's AEW at now versus where it was at 5 years ago?
I think it's changed a little bit. I don't think it's changed for the worse. I mean, every company grows, and you have somebody like Tony who is a huge wrestling fan. I mean, huge. Who I'll sit in Gorilla, okay, and say I'm not wrestling that night. I'm coaching. Right now, I've been coaching Swerve a lot in all of his matches in the last year, and I'll be really focused on watching the things and talking to the referee and giving the times and telling him you forgot to do this or whatever, right? And Tony will go, hey, Dustin, do you remember in 1991, you were in Syracuse, New York, you were wrestling so-and-so, and you did this spot in this match? And I'm like, no, I don't, Tony. Let me concentrate on what's going on right here. We're on live television. I mean, he's got such a mind, and he remembers everything, and he loves my Dustin Rhodes. He's always loved him, and I'm one of his favorites, and it's pretty cool to be under him as, you know, the boss. And I've never had a boss like that because Vince was completely different, very intimidating, and very just business all the time. And Tony's business, but he's also a very kind man. His doors are always open. And it's good because I feel very comfortable conversing with him, pitching him ideas constantly, and just enjoying this. And from the beginning, it's been one last ride, and it's still going on, right? So it's like it's doing something, man. It's got my passion still peaked.
Tony has like this encyclopedic knowledge.
He does.
Like you
It's
could
like the Rain Man of wrestling.
It's wild. Like not only will he be able to tell you what year this match happened, he'll be able to tell you the other matches on that card.
Just like that. Just like that.
It's a lot of information that he has in his brain.
It is. It's that's pretty special. He watches everything, right? Everything. And he watched everything growing up, like in the 90s and stuff. So he's watched it all. He's a fan first.
You were at WWE for so long, so you figured out a way, I'm sure, to approach Vince or talk to Vince.
Yeah.
What was the key to getting something over with Vince?
Just go in there and ask him. He says no. You choose to pick your battles.
Okay.
You have to choose to pick your battles, and not every time you're going to win them. There's been many times he's told me no, but then there's been times he's said yes. And you need to go talk to him, right? It's me talking to the boss it's better to go to the horse's head than the horse's asses, right? And I'm not saying the riders are the asses and everybody wants you to talk to the riders. Fuck that. Go to the boss. You can get shit done with the boss, or he can tell you no.
At what point do you feel like Goldust became like a comedic character? Because like there was a lot of stuff you did that's legendary, but that's not how the character started out.
Right. What year do you think?
Late 90s?
No, I think it was more in the 2000s.
Maybe it was the Booker stuff?
Probably the Booker stuff.
I mean, the
And then we went to R-Truth.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Two different people. Yeah, we tried it. Still worked with R-Truth,
Golden
funny
Truth.
as hell.
Yeah.
We did some funny backstage stuff. I forget the years, but what that was. And just evolving the characters and doing so, and I always hear funny doesn't draw money, but we were drawing money.
Yeah.
Funny does draw money if you do it right, and you're over.
The David Attenborough parodies that you did.
Yeah.
So good.
One of my favorites was the Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter one. I mean, I love that because I loved watching him, right? And just to get in that character and try to talk like him, it was fucking hilarious. It's fucking great.
I don't know how you guys keep a straight face doing this
Many
stuff.
times we cracked each other, Many times we'd have to start it over just by a certain look. I might look at Booker with his sensual, sexual eyes or some weird shit, or pop out a Tourette's moment, and he'd be like, God damn, let's just do this again, right? We're laughing our ass off, but that's when you're having fun. When you're enjoying that, and it's not like a time crunch and we're doing a pre-tape, it's easier, right? When you're live, it's a lot more pressure on you.
Yeah.
And I like live, I do, because what you say goes out there.
Yeah. I remember as a kid watching you do Shattered Dreams for the first time.
Yeah.
And going, how are you able to do that? Like you're coming.
I'm just kicking them in the balls, man.
I mean,
there's a key to it. There's a key to it, but I got to keep that kind of secret.
And I get that. The amount of trust that your opponent has is, it's a lot.
I could tell you one story with the Blue Meanie when I wrestled him, right? We were together for a little bit, but then I wrestled him on a pay-per-view. I think it was St. Valentine's Day Massacre or something. I set him up in the corner for Shattered Dreams. And he wears those jean shorts, right?
Yeah.
I walk to the other corner and I hear people laughing. And I turn around and both of his balls are hanging outside of his jean shorts, right? And I'm like, oh, well. Boom, 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 wham, and kicked
him right in those balls.
Oh my God. It was just, he had a wardrobe malfunction, and they were just dropped. And I'm just like, God damn it. What the fuck are we doing?
Did he know?
I'm not sure. And I know he's looked back at it and he knew afterwards, but I don't know that he did know, because your legs, it's a hard position to get in there like that.
Sure.
You have to be pretty bendable and loose to do it. And I've tried with many people and I couldn't get them in there, right? So it's like, it's tough on the hips.
Yeah. Do you have to talk to people beforehand and say like, are you even capable of doing this?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And not everybody is.
Some people cannot. Some people are so tight that their hips can't move that way or whatever. And it's like, But if you can get in there, it's great, you know. And Val Venus, I kicked him in the balls for real one time. It was one of the first times. He was sitting on the turnbuckle, the second turnbuckle, right?
Yeah.
But he was pushed so far I couldn't see the turnbuckle. So I tried to get under there, but it clobbered his balls, man. And I felt terrible.
How are you even able to finish the match when you've been
It was
kicked
at
in the
the end.
balls?
That was actually at the end. But man, it was like right in the nuts, just hard, just running full speed, wham, kicking right in the balls.
What's different about the coaching, the producing that you're doing now versus the producing you were doing in WWE?
It's great. I love it. I love being a coach. Tony's patient. They never scream and yell. They trust the coaches to put on to guide these kids into a good match, or a good showing. With our psychology, we got great coaches, and he gives us the freedom to do that and a little bit of power to do that, right? Like what we say goes. WWE, it was way different, and I didn't like that at all, because
How was it different?
so say we have a plan and they go out there and they're pulling off the stuff, but then they get off script and they're doing stuff that they shouldn't do or they were told not to do. That's on me from Vince McMahon.
Huh.
Right? I can't reach through the screen or tell the ref, tell him not to do this, or I change it back up, get back on the train tracks. And it's just like, once that happens, it's a domino effect, and it just gets worse and worse. And then, he's always like, hey, good, thumbs up to the kids. And I know it's the shits, right? Because they didn't do anything I told them to. And I'm just like, I'm waiting. And then every time clicks on, Dustin, come see me.
Oh.
So I know, many times that I've been over there, and it was a lot, but he yelled at all of us. Dean, Arn, Fit, Rotunda, all of us, man. And it was everyday occurrence, everyday occurrence. And if he didn't yell at you, you had a good day, right? Which was few and far between.
Wow.
So it was very stressful. And I think it probably took off 10 years of my life. And the 1 year that I produced there, it was toughest thing I've ever done. It was not for me. Now that he's gone,
Yeah.
I hear that it's a lot more laid back, because you have somebody that, is completely different than Vince.
How much stress is there when you're going in knowing you're probably going to get yelled at?
Or fired or something, and it's just, don't yell at me. I'm a grown man, right? It's like, you're just belittling me. You're not giving us any power. You tell me what we can't do, and it's like, okay, fine, but let me come up with something that looks just as good, right? But then it's up to the talent, and some of the talent, sometimes they'd get off the tracks and go in a different direction, the young ones. And it's hard to bring them back. One thing happens, it's a shits to him.
Yeah.
So it's like, they might have had a good match, but that one thing that happened, it's just, that's it.
Yeah.
You're the shits. You've sent my business back 30 years. Or
He'd say that?
he did one time.
What?
And it was like, it'll never happen again. Sorry. And I said that more than once.
With everything you've done in your career, is there anything you still haven't done?
No,
It's pretty amazing.
it is. I've wrestled just about everybody. I mean, the one person that I did not get a chance to wrestle was, that I always wanted to. He was like a dream opponent for me, was Randy Savage.
Mm.
Everybody else, I mean, you name them, I've probably been in the ring with them. I mean, of course, there's a few that I haven't, but so many different, eras. I've been in 5 decades of, Jesus Christ, it sounds like I should be in a field grazing grass. Like, you just put give me the shot.
Take you out back behind the barn?
pasture. Yes. Just feed me from time to time.
No, because
just vegetate me.
Because you're doing some of your best work.
Oh my God. I'm trying, buddy. It's a lot of fun though.
The last few months, your name, it keeps getting thrown around in the conversation of he's going to come back to help Cody at some point.
Of course. I heard that a lot today.
I'm sure you did. How How does it make you feel hearing that?
It feels great, that they remember. They remember the Goldust character. It wasn't too long ago. It was like six years ago.
But would it be Goldust that comes and helps Cody?
That's, I don't know.
Would it be Dustin?
I mean, I haven't had that conversation, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But this is like, this is something people, they love in the fantasy booking world.
Of course.
The idea that...
Yeah, is his brother, man, come on, come take care of your brother. Watch his back, take out Solo. All these things I keep hearing. I'm like, I just like their stuff, right? It's like, hey, I'll be there. I'll be watching.
What's the answer you tell people when you come to a signing like WrestleCon? And that's got to be something
I'll just
hear.
go like this. I'll be there, and I'll wink at them. What does that mean? I don't know.
What does it mean?
Just here to support my brother. Watch him.
I mean, I feel like Cody's going to be a multiple-time WWE champion.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's not WrestleMania 40, it's going to happen at some point.
It has to happen WrestleMania 40.
It really does have to happen at WrestleMania 40, doesn't it?
It's got to.
Like, we've finish the story for a long time, but it really feels like the story needs to be finished.
Doesn't right now. Oh, boy.
Where do we go?
We might have a riot.
We might.
He's incredibly over right now, man, and it's fun to watch.
DDP said to me, Cody's won a back-to-back Royal Rumble. There's very few people that have won back-to-back Royal Rumble.
Nobody's done a 2-night main event back-to-back. That's nuts.
So DDP says that makes him a Hall of Famer, I think.
Absolutely.
You think Cody's a Hall of Famer?
I think he's close.
Yeah.
I think he's close. Just him stepping away and, betting on himself and doing what he did with startup with AEW and the boys. That's Hall of Fame worthy right there. And then two Royal Rumbles. I mean, my God. And if he wins this on Sunday, his legacy is already cemented, man. The Rhodes family is very strong. It's a definitely more than one royal family, and we're one of them.
What was the conversation when he left WWE? What was the conversation that you had with him?
Just that he's getting out and he's going to try some. He wasn't elaborate about it or talk to me, in depth about what he was doing. I understood.
And look at both of you now.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Things happen, man. Things happen. You find your passion again, and you're off to the races again, and it's like, oh my God, is the wheels ever going to fall off? I hope not.
You want them to fall off?
No, man. My God, I'm waiting on replacements.
Who's the Dustin Rhodes that's sitting in front of me right now compared to the one that debuted you've wrestled in 5 decades, but that long ago? Who's this man?
I would venture to say Dustin Rhodes today is a very wise man. And he thinks about everything that he does. He makes sure that it's right. We got to keep stepping. And I say that all the time. And that's my dad told me that when I got out of rehab. And he called me daily. Are you stepping? Which means working the 12 steps. And, keep stepping. And it stuck with me. That's one of the other things, that he did that I owe him credit for, man. It was just, that's what keeps me motivated is those words, right? And I'll look at it another way. If I sit, I die. If you sit down, you're just going to wither up, and you got to keep moving. You have to keep evolving. You have to never quit the hustle, because we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time, right? So let's make the best of it.
What do you think?
Even on tough days, and everybody has them, but I know now, like I didn't know then, that it's okay to have a bad day.
What do you think you're most proud of over your career?
My sobriety. My sobriety afforded me the opportunity that I'm having now to get my life back. And that's the most important thing in my career.
How many years sober now?
15. This will be my 16th year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at everything you've done in that
It
time.
was a long road, no regrets. Can't have any regrets. Those are your teachers. Valuable lessons. Some good, some bad.
I end every interview with gratitude because it's such an important part of my life. So
Yeah.
I wake up every day, I say out loud 3 things I'm grateful for. And my wife and I do it before we go to bed.
It's good.
Yeah, it really like sets the tone for your day when you realize these are all the things I'm grateful for. Like if
Absolutely.
if I just had the things I was grateful for today,
Yeah.
what an amazing life.
Sure. Absolutely, buddy.
What are 3 things that you're grateful for, Dustin?
I'm grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my sobriety, my family. That's my dogs.
I love that. Was way more than 3, and I love it.
I know.
I feel like we could keep going with it.
Good. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'm grateful that I'm still able to do this at such a high level with 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
That just have to come to my pace. I'll slow them down just a little bit, teach them how to tell stories.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, brother.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
you.